Hey, this is Brian. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking here, sharing a few things, probably giving you some insight onto what's this whole Wrecking Crew thing about, what's with the songs, what are you doing, all that. I want you to hear my heart on the matter and why I do what I do and what I'm doing. And to be honest, I'm kind of making it up as I go along. But anyway, I'm going to do these little 3-4 minute conversations. I'm calling them Instapods. So you can steal that idea if you want. I know there's other names for stuff like this, but that's just what I'm going to call it. So this is my first Instapod, which, to be honest, I would have done way back when I first launched the Spotify page, Instagram page, YouTube channel, all that stuff for the Wrecking Crew, to kind of give you a sense of what's going on. But to be honest, it's just been busy. All that launched, I think, the second week of December. And I'm figuring out as I go along, as I'm sure others can relate to. And it was busy, Christmas time. We had a lot of family and friends in town, a lot of fun stuff going on. Our middle son got married on New Year's Day. That was awesome. And a beautiful day out at the lake, and all the festivities surrounding that. So now things are calming down a bit. And I'm like, wow, I'm about a month in on Spotify page. Dozens of songs have been released, and I thought I should maybe clarify. And some of you know me, some of you don't. And so some of this may be repetitive. That's okay. My background, I've always been involved with music my whole life. I was involved with music before I met Jesus, before Jesus grabbed a hold of my heart. And so I've always been involved with music. I've promoted concerts, promoted bands, managed bands, worked in Hollywood, worked in the different clubs, the Whiskey, Madame Wong's Downtown, Madame Wong's Chinatown, Gazzari's, Roxy, the Starwood, Country Club, all the different, clubs there on Hollywood. Been involved with all of those, been in music studios in Hollywood, like Devonshire Sound Studios, Historical, Rolling Stones recorded their Prince, Tina Turner, different others. Just a historical, had the privilege of being in there for recording sessions and different things of that nature. But that's my background before I met the Lord. But God used music to speak to my heart way back in the day. He grabbed me through songs. I was a big music collector. I had about 2,500 vinyl albums. And I would come home at one point in my life when I was kind of doing some soul searching, listening to music. A lot of it was side two of some of those vinyls. And some of those songs really spoke to my heart, spoke to my spirit. And I believe God spoke to me through them. It wasn't contemporary Christian music. It was all mainstream music, but it was speaking to my heart. And God used those songs to touch me, to speak to me. And I believe music does that to many people. It's a language a lot of people can relate to. God speaks a lot in a 4-minute song, and I firmly believe that my whole life. So when Jesus got grabbed a hold of my heart, music was a natural place for me to go to share ministry, try to share the love of the Lord, try to communicate to cultures and subcultures around me. I always had a heart for people outside the church, on the edge of church life, and maybe the struggling believer, and those who don't know the Lord at all, they're not yet believers. Those are people I've always had a heart for. So I've always been involved with music to try to reach out further. And I've always done that. In the beginning, I was involved with t-shirts and stuff because being introduced to Christian bookstores, which I never knew anything about. T-shirts were on a dusty rack in the corner with a bedazzled praise the Lord or something, which is great for grandma, but not for the average teenager. And I was working with teenagers and college students, so I tried to design shirts that would be funny, cool, edgy, a little bit of a rock and roll vibe, whatever, for them. So they could wear it around their friends. They could wear it to school. They could wear it around. And it was conversation starters for them to share their faith in a relevant way. That was my heart. That blew up, went nationwide, all over the country, even into other countries. Were distributed in Europe and Australia and Korea and different places. So that became a thing. Originally, I was just going to concerts. I live in Southern California. Calvary Chapel did all their concerts on weekends, went down there and just sold t-shirts out of the back of my car, along with some other Living Epistles. Jeff Nicholson, who was the founder of that, he was doing it about the same time. We were kind of at the forefront of the cool Christian t-shirt space. Christian Retailing called me at one time the father of Christian t-shirts. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Jeff was doing it, as were others, and many of them exploded and became nationwide, just like Jesus Works, the company I founded. But that was my heart then. That's my heart now, even with music. So I've done concerts everywhere I've been in all up and down California and Oregon and here in Texas. Done many concerts, hundreds of them actually, for all the big artists of the different eras that I was doing concerts and different things. I've had the privilege of doing that, and seeing music really change people. And I know it rocked the boat in some of the churches I was in, because some of the music styles were stretching the boundaries. I had a music show for 5 years, 12 hours on weekends, 8 to midnight, and played all the music Christian radio didn't play. It wasn't K-Love or worship. It was metal, hip hop, alternative rock, modern rock, hard rock, punk rock, whatever was out there. I used that. I was called The Edge, and that was how I used music to try to reach further. And we had a big scope in the Central Valley of California all the way out to the Bay Area that dovetailed nicely with concerts and different things. Also did a music video show for 3 years that covered the western side of the state of Oregon on a Fox affiliate, late night. I was in a college town that seemed to fit. People up partying, watching videos, same thing. And I also incorporated some mainstream artists like The Alarm and The Call and U2, Lone Justice, different bands that had a spiritual underpinning in their music, and incorporated it with some of the cool Christian punk and metal alternative hip hop that was coming out, and used music videos, which was a thing, not anymore. MTV's gone by, but in that time, people used to just spend time hanging out watching music videos. And so that was another way to try to reach further than the church wall. That's what my heart was. And so now I'm in a place where I still have that heart to do that. And technology and the music business has changed so much. I'll do a mini pod or Instapod on that later. But we're in a current place now where streaming is how music gets out. And in addition to that, technology for creating music has just expanded to incredible heights. We'll talk about that as well. So I've written songs and had song ideas for years. I've really devoted the past year into using technology, learning how to manipulate the technology to create the song that I hear in my head, which is a challenge for anyone who's ever written a song. There's a song in your head and you got to express it. I'm trying to do that. I want to be true to that. And I'm inspired with the lyrics I write. I have a concept and a vibe and a genre that I want to use to communicate the story of the song. I'm hoping the songs will reach beyond typical CCM perhaps, though some of them are more worshipful. Some of them would fit a CCM space, but there's space also in country, in punk rock, in metal, in hip hop, in modern rock, that maybe, and some topics that perhaps Christian radio wouldn't touch. I want to write songs in those spaces. There are believers who are struggling just to get through life. They love the Lord, but life is hard. I want to write songs in different genres to speak to them, encourage them. I want to speak hope to those who don't know the Lord. They aren't yet believers. I want them to hear it. And maybe a reggae song or maybe some indie song would reach their heart. I don't know. I'm messing around. I like music of every genre, so that's kind of fun for me. Technology allows me to do that. So if I have a crazy idea in my head, I can work with technology and come up with a way to express it that way. Now, technology is such now that I could probably use pitch correction and vocal techniques and vocal plugins to use my own voice and kind of fake like it's me. I really don't want to do that. That's not my intent. The Wrecking Crew is not a fake band. That's just what I call it, and it's an homage to music history, which we'll talk about in another pod. I'm seeing I'm already over my 3 or 4 minute limit. First one, whatever. I'm figuring this out. But that's what I'm doing. And so it is the music, a lot of it is AI generated, not the lyrics are mine, the music concept is mine, the vision and the genre and the way I want the song communicated is mine. The techniques for the instrumentation and the vocals are coming out of software that I've manipulated to create what I want. I use multiple softwares to do that. That's kind of a technical thing. But yes, it is helped by AI technology. And I know it's controversial. Everybody's either spooked out by it, fascinated by it, or kind of wondering what in the heck is it. But the music is real in a sense that it is from a real person, me. It's not fake. And so that's what I want you to know. It's not there is music that is simply AI generated without any human involvement. Well, that's impossible. All software has human involvement. With minimal human involvement, I would like to think my songs have some creativity that speaks something to the heart and soul. You can be the judge of that. I thank anybody who listens on Spotify or any other music service like Apple Music or YouTube or whatever. I appreciate that you listen to the songs, and I'm interested in your feedback. I hope the story of the songs, the lyrics do speak to you, because to me, that's what stands alone in the end with a song. There have been horrible songs written by humans from beginning to end that have gotten out in the music world. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm trying to use music as a tool to go beyond the church walls. That's it. And if one of my songs travels, and I'm fascinated already in a month to see some songs traveling to other countries, seeing people listening to them. I don't know the life of a song. That's up to God and what he does with it. But to be a part of that is kind of, one, fun for me. I'm a creative person. Two, I believe in the power of music to speak to hearts. And I'm making it up as I go along. Honestly, I have quite a backlog of songs, a whole bunch that will never see the light of day because I'm not happy with them yet. I'm sure anybody who writes songs. I have friends who are fantastic vocalists and musicians that can actually play my songs. But the expense of doing so would be difficult. Someday, I don't know, maybe for fun we'll do it. But right now, this is the vehicle I'm using, and I do think it can be a ministry tool. It can be something God uses. And if you're listening, you're not even a believer, and you just like the songs, I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing the songs with someone you think it might mean something to. I really appreciate it. Love you all. I've gone way over my 4 minutes. I tripled that. It's 12. I'm going to practice here. I'm practicing. I'm learning, right? I'm going to try and get this down to about 3 or 4 minute talks. I would like to talk about why the name The Wrecking Crew. It is an homage to music history. And also, there's some significance to it in the current era of where technology is taking music that you may or may not know about. We'll have fun along the way. Maybe sometimes I'll tell you the story behind the inspiration of a song. That might be interesting. Maybe we'll just talk about music history or music in general. There's a lot of great music out there, and I love it all. Hopefully there's a niche in there where some of my songs may either touch your heart or someone else. And that's what it's all about. Love you guys, and thanks for putting up with my way too long first Instapod. Bye-bye.